From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Good evening, everyone. Let's get you right through Kruger's Quickcast, and we usually start off with what you can expect here for tonight. Maybe you're heading out this evening for dinner or anything like that, or even tomorrow morning, early in the morning, looking at temperatures somewhere in the mid to upper 60s. And then, of course, as we take you to the higher elevations, mainly 50s, but some of those low 60s in there for some areas here and there. You can see the fog and the low clouds along the coast here tonight with temperatures in the mid 50s. Of course, that'll be the case tomorrow morning as well. Speaking of tomorrow morning, let's get you out the door. Maybe you're heading out somewhere. Maybe going fishing, maybe going somewhere on a Saturday morning, right? Temperatures around 70 in the valley. So still a mild start to the day, especially in the valley, but we should start to see these temperatures begin to drop. Now let's take a look at Futurecast here, and we take you through the rest of the night tonight. Now, forecast is showing that there may be a stray shower for parts of eastern Modoc County late tonight, including maybe even extreme eastern Lassen County as well. But I think most of the activity will be confined off to the east. Then we take you into your Saturday. The clouds in the morning should dissipate and give way to mainly sunny skies by the afternoon, with the exception of the coast, obviously. I think the coast will continue to see the low clouds and fog, even working its way into some of those inland valleys as well. But this is the first time in a while we may actually drop below 100 degrees in most cases. I think there are still a few spots that could touch that 100-degree mark, especially in the valley and even some of those inland areas as well. But otherwise, I'm expecting mainly 80s and 90s for the higher elevations, with temperatures in the mid-60s for the coast. Looking at your 7-day outlook, yes, it's starting to drop again. You can see temperatures in the upper 90s through the weekend, continuing to drop through next week. I'm continuing to keep that chance for showers in the forecast for Wednesday for everyone, but at this point I'd say don't count on it. And I think the best chances when we look at the 7-day outlook will mainly be in the eastern mountains, places like Alturas, Susanville, and of course maybe even towards Siskiyou County as well. But bottom line, cooler temperatures as we go through next week in the 70s for many of the higher elevations by next Wednesday. All right, that is your quick cast. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather headlines as we kind of take a deeper dive into the forecast. We're going to take a look at this cooling trend. We're going to take a look at the chances for showers and how that may actually equate to stronger winds too. All right, so again, not as hot this weekend, but still on the warm side. As I mentioned, for tomorrow, some of us could still touch that 100-degree mark. But then we do expect the cooling trend to continue into next week, with a possibility for some showers by midweek. We're going to talk about that in more detail. But really looking at the long range, yes, it's going to warm up a little bit after Wednesday of next week, but no major or big heat waves heading our way anytime soon. So let's talk about our fire danger. And there, of course, you can see the winds may pick up for your Saturday afternoon for the valley and in the eastern mountains. This may elevate the fire danger. I mean, look at these gusty winds even out towards Shasta Valley in central Siskiyou County. Now, the winds should start to die down, though, as we take you into your Sunday afternoon, but still a little breezy, as you can see here, off to the east. So we take a look at the humidity. No big surprises here, as I pretty much always say, right? We're still looking at those single digits when we're talking about the relative humidity levels, especially in the valley, but still very dry even to the east and even off to the west. I mean, you're into the mid-teens for places like Weaverville, Hayfork, Etna, and even Wairika. So what does that mean for our fire weather risk? Well, for your Saturday, in the high to very high range, that includes Shasta Valley, and to the east in that moderate range, we take you into Sunday. As the winds die down, temperatures start to drop, we're going to see that fire weather risk also begin to drop as well. So the heat that we've seen over the last few days, that's being pushed down to the south and east by this more mild air that's pushing on through this weekend. This will allow our temperatures to begin to drop as we go through the weekend. Now, I've got my eyes on this cooler air right here. This is going to be diving down to the south, and the positioning of this low is going to determine a few things. Number one, this is showing signs of a typical classic inside slider. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's essentially an area of low pressure that rises to our north, northeast, then down into the desert southwest. This is a classic setup for some gusty winds that we'll have to be on the lookout for as we take you into your Wednesday of next week. Now, this could also, of course, looking at cooler temperatures, that's the main story or big story there, but also maybe a chance for some showers. But the positioning of this low looks to support mainly most of that rain in Siskiyou, Modoc, Lassen, and Plumas counties. Elsewhere, at this point, would most likely be dry. But I'm still keeping the chance for showers in there until we start seeing more consistency in the long-range forecast model. Then that moves out by Thursday, Friday, Saturday of next week. Temperatures start to increase, but no big heat wave, no big ridge of high pressure. You can see here just some warmer air moving in, allowing our temperatures to increase a little bit. So you can see that trend. Temperatures dropping, the peak of the cooling trends Wednesday. They go back up a little bit, but not by much, before maybe dipping again towards the end of next weekend, into that next weekend, into that next week too. All right, so let's take a look at Futurecast. So tonight, we may see a stray shower, maybe even a thunderstorm for places like Fort Bidwell, Cedarville, maybe even Alturas, Eagleville, right? So extreme eastern Modoc and extreme northeastern portions of Lassen County as well. Otherwise, once we get past tonight, that's all pretty much gone. The clouds will start to dissipate for Saturday afternoon. Still, though, the cloud cover along the coast with the low clouds and fog. I expect more of the low clouds and fog for the coast on Sunday, but elsewhere, you're looking at sunny skies here throughout the day on Sunday. Let's take a look at the long range. And you can see that inside slider coming on in. Now again, I think the biggest story will be the stronger winds and the cooler temperatures and maybe some showers off to the east. But as I mentioned, if this low decides to move a little bit more to the west, now everyone's got that chance for showers. So we're going to wait until we start seeing more consistency in that. Be sure to watch this weekend with Brian Wilson. And of course, I'll be back on Monday with the latest as we go into your weekday work week forecast for next week. And then of course, it stays dry after Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even into that upcoming Saturday as well. Your wave heights are expected to be fairly low as we take you into your Saturday. In fact, we take a look at Saturday. Now take a look at Sunday. Not much change, right? Not much change at all. Looks like they do lower a little bit, though, by the time we do get into Sunday. So here's your marine forecast for your Saturday. Northwest winds at 5 knots, waves from the northwest at 2 feet at 6 seconds, and from the northwest at 4 feet at 11 seconds. Your high and your low tide with that patchy, dense fog. Not only in the morning, but I do think even in the afternoon. All right, so for tonight, mid to upper 60s, maybe even some low 70s for some of the warmer spots. I am expecting temperatures to be in the mid to upper 50s for most of the higher elevations, mid 50s along the coast with that fog and low clouds, making its way into some of those inland areas as well. So your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Yes, some of us may touch 100 degrees tomorrow, like Big Bar, for example, but 97 for Weaverville, 98 for Douglas City, Trinity Center, about 94 degrees. We take you off to the southern portions of Humboldt County, that is, with 66 degrees for Eureka, 71 degrees for Blue Lake. There's that chance for showers, but your temperatures for the coast mainly staying in the mid-60s. Now, temperatures are dropping for the inland areas back down to the 80s by Tuesday into Wednesday with that chance for showers. Again, some of us may touch that 100-degree mark for some of the inland areas. Otherwise, should stay below 100 degrees. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Once again, some may be touching 100 degrees, especially places like Happy Camp. 98 for Hornbrook, 90 though for Weed and Mount Shasta, so quite a dip in those temperatures here for some of the higher elevations. 88 degrees for Tule Lake, 91 for Fort Bidwell, 91 for Alturas. Now, as I mentioned, Fort Bidwell, Cedarville, Eagleville, Alturas, maybe California Pines, seeing that potential for maybe a stray shower or thunderstorm late this evening and tonight. Otherwise, it should be dry, and you'll be dry through the day tomorrow as well. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast for your Saturday, 80s, some 90s in there, 80 degrees for Viola, 91 for Susanville and Doyle, and 91 degrees for Quincy. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south with 97 for Los Molinos, 96 in Corning, as well as Pasquenta and Willows about 96 degrees. And up to the north, again, some of us may touch 100 degrees like Palisadro, maybe even Redding and Anderson and Bella Vista, but 93 out in Whiskeytown as well as Lakehead, the city of Shasta Lake, about 98 degrees. Let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding, mainly upper 90s through the weekend, mid 90s Monday, Tuesday. upper 80s, low 90s for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That is your evening update. Be sure to check in this weekend with Brian Wilson, and I'll be back on Coffee with Kruger at 7 a.m. on Monday morning.
We're the locals down the street. The neighbor you come to for advice. A nest egg for the golden years. A loan or a new account for that growing business. What started in Chico 50 years ago has taken us all around California, providing big bank lending power and high-tech service while keeping our relationships personal. We're still the locals down the street, no matter where your street might be. Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank.